Hello everyone. During this video, I'm going to channel Pleiadians, Arcturians, Andromedans, and Narans, and they're going to give us guidance and also the Saros Collective. So I will be speaking and channeling at the same time. Light language, it will come through, so use this advantage to practice. But these videos are not going to be only to use light codes. It can be used on any healing, whether you do that for yourself or for someone else. So why I am choosing to teach a system of healing that works primarily with light codes, because I think light codes are the patterns of energy that we use inward and outward from all our existence. And at the same time, we're going to be using mainly with the 7 chakras and our intuition and channeling what will be needed according to the type of codes that are going to be coming through. So I would like to set the intention and ask your higher self and your guides and my guides and whoever it is the most loving and highest guidance that is going to come true to give us guidance. Ishna, Tisama, Tete Eki Ishtara, Asete Eki Ishta, Ti Inina Nasete Eki Ishka, Ti Esako Ti Eki Ishka, Ti Ima, Ima Ane, Inate Yasete Eki Ishtara, Asete Eki Ishna. We're having a session with a client, or even if you do it for yourself. There are very important aspects that I would like to talk about before let the guidance from our guides from the galaxy, whatever that it is, to be expressed to me. Titi ishta, sete ki ishka, sete manene, titi ishkiete, sete ki ishka. There are all kinds of clients. The ones who are going to directly exactly when they want to and don't give you much room for seeing what needs to be done. The ones who are not even sure that they would like to hear or receive the information, that are not that open. The ones that feel very insecure, and the ones that are very open to whatever that is. I have learned to work with clients that each of my clients, whether that I like them or not, because sometimes some people are going to come to challenge me greatly. They are a reflection of me. I have had the clients, not a lot, but I do have, I have to be honest, that have insulted me and spoke badly about me and things like that, which I think it was a lesson for me to learn that I was worth it and valuable. So I would not allow anyone to define me. I'm gonna rephrase that. I would not allow anyone to interfere on the definition that I had about me. If you have a complicated client, because sometimes we have those complicated clients, for me, I have learned that they are not all my clients. I have learned that not to insist on what I want, but to be okay with whatever it is. If I have one session a month or 25 or 50, it is because that was needed. So I have learned to ask only for whoever clients are ready and in alignment for myself, instead of asking an amount or a quantity or things that I do want to experience. And certainly I do have awesome clients that I love, that they become my friends and that we support and grow each other. But I have learned not to insist about what I want and rather to be open to whatever is meant to be. mm, some people are very sensitive, so we have to be very aware about what we say and the way that we say it, not be moving around the camera, the noise, things like that. As far as I'm trying to have the best silence that I can, I do live in a very noisy neighborhood, and sometimes it's hard because I have doors barking, things like that, cars, horns, but trying to go with your own flow. Mm. But at the same time, it's important to understand the purpose and the function of what you are doing on that person's body and life. And at the same time, I'm gonna recommend that if you feel the desire to complement these webinars with learning about chakras, dimensions, mm, timelines, crystals, colors, and any other practices that you would like to complement besides the light codes, is going to provide a strong foundation so you can find your own unique way to do healing. I have also learned when I do have a client who is resisting or challenge me to go with the flow, not to receive that energy, because I certainly know that other whether that I am healing something within myself or I'm learning something, so I try to be very attentive about what it is. I have had clients who don't pay services. I had that a lot at the beginning. The ones who pay and then cancel, or the ones who say, I'm gonna pay Monday and never did. When someone asks the ones that I already know that my supporters for payments or anything, I always accept and let go about the outcome. You are going to decide when you could do free services or how much you will charge for them. But I have found out that sometimes when you give, you always have to give free and affordable services. That, on the other hand, those services help us to have all what we need so we can keep doing this job, and that is going to be in ecology with whatever that is needed in your own life. And another, I want to talk also about yes, I do. Another thing that I do is I always send Reiki love life codes to my page, to my YouTube channel, to my clients, whoever clients I'm going to see, and if I'm not, so I always have clear the tools that I use for work, because sometimes you have people trying to hang out on what you do in many ways. So I'm always constantly clearing and notice what I need to adjust. It's always good to keep changing and adapting your services, your prices, the way that you work, because we are in a stage in Gaia where everything is very accelerated and fast and quickly changing. I don't think we can allow ourselves to be outdated. There are many different forms of healing that are available for you to learn and to receive the energy of the universe. There are many different healing systems that work through the chakras, through sounds, through many different things that you could do and incorporate. The chakras will control the energy that we use, but that chakra system is changing, and I'm going to explain that in another video. Chakras are not only spinning wheels that we have. I do believe chakras are all over us. For example, my root in reality, it will be my complete body, because I will react on survival if I need it, and that will be related to my root chakra. And then I do believe chakras, instead of being in vertical way, they are in horizontal way. So they go in circles all around, and the way that the energy engages that I have seen, it creates a type of Merkaba Ontarotor field. How you will know how to see and get in contact with that light codes technology, because each chakra, each energy will, and I'm not going to explain the chakras and how they work, because we all know the basics, and there's lots of information you can find about chakras, but each chakra is going to create a pattern, and that pattern is going to engage whether they are working together or they are not communicating between each other through their meridians, and is going to create a type of body of light or body technology between the shadow and the light. And through that technology, we heal our mental body and our emotional body, our physical vessel, and our connection through Gaia. I'm going to explain a little bit. I think I'm going to channel and I'm going to let guys explain that. How we manifested the technology in the physical vessel, so we do understand how light codes are created. We understand how light codes engages, so we know how to rectify them and amplify them according to whatever it is needed for a client or for us. And when we understand the purpose of codes, you will know what you are doing in that person's body. So I would recommend that if you have not took any life coach course before, whether that mine or someone else's, look for information in a more variety about codes of light, what people define about codes, so you amplify your own learning. Looking at the channel, I'm going to allow guys to come through to see whatever that it is needed in order for us to know. Greetings and blessings. Frederic, Achurian, Council of Light, and we want to just speak to you today to expand your understanding about codes, codification, how you can use them to work with clients. Is that it is your wish? If you are working with a person through the root chakra, through codes, you will be beaming light into that root chakra. And you're going to open your channel in such a way that you hear, know, sense energy. And that may take practice. We're going to give you a few tips, but the approach that you use is going to be directly uncovered for each of you according to your own needs. We suggest that you work with a person in completely free mode instead of working with the main 7 chakra system from chakra number 1 through bottom of the aura, because everyone it is completely different, and it is usually 1 key chakra or 2 key chakra that you will be immediately drawn to use, and only after working with those chakras you will be guided to work with others. We would like to explain first how you can tune into the energy body and the light codes technology of your client or yourself. And if these contacts we're going to speak only through the aura rather than the great energy body. Let's presume that you are in a session with a client that in this case is going to be imaginary. We do consider that you do a period of engagement where you can empathize with your client and you can do report. So you will ask certain questions about what they expect, what they're looking for, what they feel, what is the reason of the session. That way you can engage your energy with them and they're going to be able to be open and willing to rectify and restore any codification that it will be needed. Ti imanimete ishkase ete ki ishta sete eki ishta asokote eki ishki ena. Iche ni amane ise ikite eki ishka. Chi ininenate inamase te ishkare ite san. After you have your few minutes of rapport with your client, you have a sense of what it is needed. And the next step is going to require practice for each of you to know and do difference between your auric field and the auric field of your client. And we would like to explain to the how the auric field is amplified. You're going to have in your mind the line from the spirit that's separated and create a soul body. The soul body, it is a spirit that engaged with experience, desires, shadow and light. That soul is going to manifest a physical vessel through the fusion of the mother cell of the mother and the mother cell of the father. And a third consciousness is going to born for humans, and that consciousness is going to instantly scan and absorb the technology from the family, from the father and the mother, and the collective energy at the time, and how that is going to evolve and is going to instantly manifest a body. A body, it will be the consequence of the light in action from the creation of the cell of the mother and the cell of the dad. That becomes one egg cell. That egg cell will multiply and divide until for the 9 months that normally will be in the womb of the mom. The soul will be engaging with the soul family, decided the lessons and the charge and any dysfunctional thoughts and emotions from the environment are going to be manifested in the body. And that soul is going to ask to have a shadow aspect that is going to be the mission, the life and the purpose is going to be the greatest gift that that soul has for everyone else. When those souls divide and divide, creating a body, a vessel, they're going to work in connection with the energy that is going to engage in a type of body technology. The interface point between thoughts and emotions and patterns and behaviors from the soul and the spirit and the physical body will create a potentiality for that vessel to heal and rectify any distortion that may have been manifested. So that light that it is the soul and the spirit in an alchemy between the light and the shadow that is going to be the path for the soul evolution is going to manifest a physical vessel. That physical vessel is going to be the result of the consequence about that interface between the ideas and the feelings through the chakra system and the meridians. But those feelings and ideas create codes. Codes that manifest a pattern that reacts in a movement and action in a torus field where do the chakras express them in order for the soul to understand what it is doing as an experience so it can change and adjust in the path. The patterns and how the energy exchange for humanity time are shifting, and this is what we would like to explain. The light force, it is form an aura. That aura, it is made of the meridians and the chakras. That aura will have an extra layer that it's called regenerative source ring. That ring, it is an extra layer that comes from source, that it is a plasmic light that gives you the foundation for the aura and the pranic light to rectify or adjust its alignment if that it is needed. After the aura and the regenerative source of light, that it is a plasmic light, you will have an extra layer that is called the body of light. The body of light represents the angelic aspect of you. The aura, it is the result how your energy and vessel read what it is going on between feelings, ideas, collective patterns, and all that it is. The regenerative source plasmic light, it is a layer that comes from your support, comes directly from source, and comes to assist the aura to be advanced. The third layer that we are describing is where the guardian angel or the I am presence or the spirit lives. It is the angelic aspect of each human, even the ones that you don't even think they have an angel within. It may be very hidden in a very, very dark place within them, but all of you have the divine spark of source. Therefore, there is an extra layer that it is called the soul ring. The soul ring, it is the layer of the aura where each of you meet and engages with anything else around you, which is when you create course of light that vibrate in positive or negative charge. All light, all energy can be charged with positive or with negative charge. Positive will be light, to negative will be dark. And then you have different expressions that it is the divine masculine, the divine feminine. And each energy, it is charged according to the perception of the self from the feelings. Those feelings will create a pattern, and then the mental body is going to organize those patterns in memories that you can access through the Akash. So you do have the aura, you do have the regenerative source light, you do have the body of light, you do have the soul ring, which is when you meet anyone else. And after that, you have another two layers that are the plasmic sunlight and plasmic light. The sunlight comes from the central source, and that last plasmic light, it is an extra layer from source that will come to support each of you within your own connections. The course that you create travel all over the matrix in different dimensions, in different times, in different space. Each chord will have the frequency that predominantly it will decide for the feelings of the self. And according to the perception of the mental body, those chords are going to perceive as negative or as positive. When the energy it is vibrating in imbalance, it is always looking for an alignment, and that alignment comes from the correct alchemization or chemistry of that pattern. And this is where you are going to come. You are going to be sitting close to your voice, to your movement, to your sounds, to your drawings, through your actions that are going to come to balance any pattern that may be distorted. Whether you do movement like language, sound like language, or symbology like language, you are going to be engineers of the soul and the technology that the soul is using at this time, helping that soul to align with a more suiting balance of chemistry within that technology and all that it is. There is no need to be complicated about this information. Each of you will understand whatever is meant for you to be understand. And the information is going to be changing. You can always go back to these videos, but beyond the words that are being said, these videos carry energetic transmission that each of you are going to receive according to your own needs. Now the question is, how to identify what needs to be done. It will require practice, but the identification it will come through your own feelings and sensations. While you learn to practice and to read the energy field is going to come to bring all the answers. And for each of you is going to come in different ways according to the sense that is the most developed. You may see, you may hear, you may sense, you may know. So you will require to trust and be confident about what it is needed. Each of you are coded because cores are connection that grows beyond time and space to many different patterns. Free will comes when each of you decide to which program or pattern you decide to experience as a soul, as a being of light. Whether you decide to cut those cores or repair them, each core will represent a valuable information for the soul evolution, whether that core is charged in a negative or in a positive way. We do suggest, instead of cutting them, neutralize them, because when you neutralize them, you no longer feel affected by the negative energy, which means negative energy no longer exists because it was shifted into light and all that it is. When you transmute a part that no longer affects you, it is because you have decided to experience different things, so you are not rerunning the same patterns always. But whether you decide to cut them, the course or not, is going to be according to whatever information is coming through you on behalf of your client. Sometimes the soul it's not ready yet to transmute the pattern, so it is the most helpful to cut the core. Meanwhile, the soul gathers the strength and the wisdom to transmute them so that core no longer affect anyone else in the oversoul. Remember that all of you are one, and the oversoul it is in charge to transmute any pattern. If you decide to quote a pattern of betrayal because you don't want to, because it triggers you so much, then you are going to send that betrayal pattern to someone else in your soul family, so they go through and correct it or rectify that. We do believe it is no longer an obligation for no one to fix karma, but somehow the souls feel a deep sense of loyalty, so they decide to rectify their own distortions so they can understand them and send that feedback to source. Each codification of the light of the frequency of the expression of the soul, it is organized in the matrix. That matrix it is organized in dimensions. Dimensions represent frequency, speed. In other words, it is the capacity for the soul to understand the majority of information from the matrix in one moment. When each of you are in the present moment, you can choose to align and rectify whatever that it is needed. So if you're working in a client, in whatever way or form you decide to do it, it is best when you find yourself in the present moment and when you allow taking your client to be the present moment. So whatever that it is needed to come through and you rectify and realign, whether it is guidance, healing, activation, recalibration, reset, or anything else, it can be done. We do suggest that you work in practice through your intuition, because your intuition is going to come to give you the guidance that is needed for each of you to have the best results. And for that, we're going to do a short transmission of light language, and then we're going to continue in another video. This light language is to integrate and receive the information in the best way and in the highest way of all. And please state, dear Source from Creator, I do request and love so I know how to be connected to Source all the time. So I know through these videos and many other information and guidance that will come through me. How do I work with clients? How do I realign and integrate this information in the best way, in the highest way for all? I really believe this is all for today. Thank you, blessings, see you next time. Thank you. Any questions, please let me know. You can contact me at encoded.com. See you for the next video. Bye.